So I am on my way out for the morning, and I thought it would be fun to give you a look at what a typical morning as a part-time reseller is like for me. I typically get up around 7 or 7:30, feed the dogs, get ready for the day. I always check to see if anything's sold overnight, and then I head out to the garage to pack my orders for the day. My first stop of the day is usually the Goodwill bins. They open at 9, so I'm typically out the door by 8:30. This gives me enough time to stop by the post office and drop off my packages. I head over to the Goodwill bins and I hop in line. I always grab a cart first because there's usually more people than carts. It's a lot of digging through junk, but it's usually worth it. I usually spend about an hour and a half at the bins, and then I stop at this Goodwill right here, which is usually on my way home. The prices are obviously much higher here, so I look for higher value, higher velocity items. This store actually produced my highest single item sale last year. I also try to pay attention to the rhythms of thrift stores. This thrift city that I'm at right now has different discounts on different days. Today's Thursday, so it's 50% off. The Goodwill racks that I go to after the bins often have new items coming out of the back around 10:30. I'm looking for anything that catches my eye. I'm always looking for specific cuts, certain fabrics. Everything piled up here is about a week's worth of thrifting for me, and that's only a couple hours in the morning. I'll get everything sorted out a bit, and then I'll take everything over to my photo station where I do all my listing photos. After that, everything goes into a bin system where everything's sorted by shirts, pants, purses, etc. So I'm going to show you some of the more unique and interesting finds from a week of thrifting. I'll start off a little bit of vintage here. This is a Mickey USA shirt, made in USA on the Disney character fashions tag. Based on the ringer, the tag, and the graphic design here, I'm guessing this is from the '84 Olympics. Not a huge piece, but a pretty nice find. Another great vintage find here. This is a YSL silk polo from probably the 90s. Based on the tag here, I think this is usually around the 90s, and you see this kind of silver and black tag. You can see also $5.99 at the Goodwill racks. Great piece for a great price. These should sell for around 50 bucks. Another great vintage find here. This is a Big Mac denim chore jacket. Classic style. These are extremely popular right now. I'd imagine these will stay popular. This is classic American style. Extremely well made. Also just very popular styling for international markets as well. Everybody's looking for these. I think this is probably based on the tag. I'm gonna guess from like the 70s, maybe the 80s. It's got the corduroy collar. I need to do a little bit more research, but something like this could sell in the $75 to $150 range, depending on its age. It's really in pretty nice condition, but I don't know if you can see there's a little red line here where someone marked this for some kind of haphazard tailoring. I love that this tells the story that someone wasn't really that concerned about the look of it. They wanted the sleeves to be a couple inches shorter, so they did what they could to make that happen. Just a really nice piece of vintage workwear. Even love the little like custom buttons here. Living in an area where there's so much natural beauty means there's lots of great outdoor gear that shows up at thrift stores. These Oakley ski goggles, got them at the bins. They weigh basically nothing. They're in really good condition and should sell for about 30 bucks. This is a Battle Box sleeping bag. It's more of a summer weight sleeping bag. It's rated down to 5 Celsius, which is about 40 degrees. It's got kind of like the tactical look and style. Got this at the bins. It was probably about $5 by weight. It still has the little tag from where the hang tags would have been attached to it, so I'm not sure if this has been used. It looks in great condition, but this should sell for at least 50 bucks. Sleeping bags are something I tend to look for at the bins. These can be very expensive at retail, and a lot of people overlook those bins that come out with just blankets and sheets and towels in them. A lot of times you can find really nice sleeping bags. Next up is this Helly Hansen sailing jacket. Vintage Helly doesn't do as well as it used to, but something in this colorway, especially in their sailing and nautical line, can be a little bit more sought after. It's got the twin sails embroidered logo hit on the sleeve. It's got the neon on the hood. Just a really nice classic nautical styled piece. This should sell for about 50 bucks. Next up is a Mountain Equipment Company jacket. This is a great brand. These are really expensive at retail. This is a down-filled jacket. I forget what the model is. I'll throw it up on screen. But I did pay up a little bit at the thrift store. This was $12.99, but not a bad grab when these will sell for about $70 to $100, I think. Now I want to talk a little bit about military and tactical gear. I do live next to a large base here, JBLM. So there's lots of surplus items coming out, and some of this can be quite valuable depending on the brands and kind of how it's made. These right here are a Revolution Race pair of tactical pants. Kind of a cool colorway. You can tell when I picked these up, I could tell they're extremely well made. Found these at the bins. This is not a brand I've ever heard of before I found them, but these are quite valuable. I think these should sell in the $70 to $100 range. Another thing I see a lot of are combat boots. And knowing your brands and your styles and some of the details about these can be really helpful. These are Nike combat boots. Nike stuff is sought after by the military community for its comfort and some of the design element, but mostly the functionality of them. But it's really sought after in the civilian community too because of the style. These are pretty expensive at retail. Something like this should sell for around $100. I also find a lot of older military surplus. I think that's, with the base so close, as people move out here and retire and move into civilian life, some of this older stuff gets left behind. These here, you can always check the tags inside, and what I do is I Google Lens this label, and it tells you pretty accurately what era these are from. I think these are from the 50s or 60s. You can also kind of tell by the construction of them. These are wool, like a wool nylon mixture. When you start to see more of this stuff, you see some of the design elements and some of the construction details that alert you to things being a little bit older. I think these sell in the $50 to $70 range, and I found these at the bins. They are a little heavy, but still a great deal for grabbing at the bins. Another great military surplus find here. Looks like a pretty basic piece at first, but this is an Orc Industries piece. That's one of the brands you want to look for, one of those details. And there's some other great brands to look for. I'm still kind of learning my way through this, but was excited to find this one, and these should sell for around 40 bucks, I think. Now I'm going to jump into just kind of some odds and ends, a couple of unique items that might be worth quite a bit of money. And then I wanted to also start off by talking about Duluth Trading Company. I don't hear a lot of resellers talking about this brand, but for me, it's always a good performer. It always sells quickly. It's got a high retail price point, so I think people are starting to look for this in used formats because it is really well-made stuff. This is a women's gardening vest. I've had at least 2 of these before this one, and I think they sold within a week of me listing them. So I should be able to get about 30 bucks for this. Not bad for kind of a basic piece. Gloves are another thing I always look for at the bins. They're lightweight, they're easy to ship, and if you find the right thing, I see a lot of good outdoor brands. I see a lot of nice heavy-duty motorcycle gloves like these, a lot of nice skiing gloves. Something like this, these are Sedicis. These should sell for about $30, $35 and only be about 5 bucks to ship, so great find here. In the same bin with the gloves, there are purses, bags, backpacks, and I'm hoping you know this logo by now. This is Tory Burch. Great brand, very high retail value. And this is the Ella Tote, and it's the larger size. It does show some signs of wear. It's been well loved, but even in this condition, I think I can get around $45 to $60 for it. This is easily my favorite find from the last week or so. I always look for this brand, Howler Brothers, but when I saw it was Austin City Limits related, I knew I might have something a little bit special. This is a Yellow Rose collection, and this is ultimately, it was for the ACL Fest. There's a little tag that tells you so down here as well. Just a really nice Western shirt, pearl snap, beautiful embroidery. And I was really shocked by the value of this. I got this for $4 at my local St. Vincent de Paul, and this should sell for anywhere from $120 to $150. This is definitely one of my most unique finds from the bins. Did not know what this was when I picked it up, but I knew it looked interesting, and that's kind of one of my rules at the bins is if you don't know and it looks interesting and it feels nice, grab it. So this, I could tell, had some handmade elements. I wanted to do some more research on it. I did see one listed on eBay for some pretty good money. I saw one at full retail for like $500. And I did some more research, and this is actually a traditional tunic from the Karen tribe, which is in Thailand. Beautiful embroidered handwork here. These little white pieces are actually seeds that have been individually sewn into the fabric, so exceptional amount of time went into producing this, and that's where the value is. But what an interesting piece of culture right here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited about the way the channel's growing. I think I've got about 150 subscribers right now. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, tell your friends. Can't wait to make more content. See you guys later.